kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Two big racetracks to open up the season at both Daytona International Speedway and Michigan International Speedway. But tonight, we head to Kansas Speedway for round number 3 for the SCL Winston Cup Series. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me, my broadcast partner Daniel Paulus. Daniel, it's first time for you with this series, first time for me in quite some time. Very, very excited to get going here at Kansas for the third round of the year.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm very excited to see what happens here tonight with these drivers racing at Kansas Speedway, and I can't wait to see the green flag fly.
We are not that long from the green flag flying here today. Last time out, it was Barrett Flo taking the win at Michigan. 11 cautions for 33 caution laps in the 80-lap race at Michigan last week. A lot of new faces to this series here from past years. Some old faces gone, a lot of new faces replacing them. So early in the season, it would stand. There's a lot of drivers trying to make these races, a lot of new drivers, all trying to learn how to race around each other.
And that's the thing, you're not going to know what driver feels comfortable with fifth driver. When you see new drivers come into the league, you just want to see how they race and see what they can do. And then once you see that you can trust them, then you can start working with them.
Absolutely, and that trust only builds by going out on the racetrack and racing with them. We'll take a look at the standings here coming into tonight's race. Isaac Love right now currently out in front after winning at Daytona, was able to maintain that points lead after Michigan. He leads by 18 points over Matthew McMeekin, who finished second at Michigan last week. Mark Brown is up there as well. Eric Schausch, Jonathan Casebeer, your top five. A lot of close battles here in the points early in the season, which means if somebody up top makes a mistake and somebody at the bottom has a good finish, these points are going to move around quite a bit.
And anything at this track could move those points significantly. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, you can get into a wreck, and that could cost you a lot of stage points or just points in general here. You just don't know what's going to happen.
A couple of big names we're seeing down towards the bottom there. 26th position for Maxwell Caldwell, two-time series champion here in SCL competition, as we are getting set here about 30 seconds away or so from getting into the qualifying session. We do have quite a number of people here tonight trying to make this race. Now, the top 38 will make the race based on time. If there are more than 40 drivers that try to set a qualifying time or try to participate in this race, we will go to a heat race to fill out the final two positions to give ourselves a 40-driver grid here tonight for round number 3 at the Kansas Speedway. We are getting set now to flip over into the qualifying session, as I believe it just happened. Yep, there we go. Into qualifying we go. Time to see who will put their car on the front row here for tonight's race. As looking through the field, it would appear as though Mark Brown is going to be the first car out onto the racetrack, as we are getting set and getting wound up here for qualifying tonight from Kansas. A lot of drivers: Charles Teed, Zach Roethlisberger, Matthew McMeekin, Jason Crumley, Ronnie Hurst, Ryan Farrell. A lot of drivers starting to make their way out onto the track, as well as here, this Liberty University number 88 of Brandon Murray. Now, we're going to see a couple of lines here throughout qualifying and throughout the race where you're seeing Murray. It tends to be the preferred line with the more banking up on the top. But during the race, Daniel, a lot of guys are going to be moving down towards the bottom to try to keep pressure off of that right front tire, keep from wearing it out.
You don't want to drive so hard into the corners in the beginning of this race, because your tires are just going to wear off each and every lap, and that's what's going to hurt you throughout this run. Now, if we do have a long green flag run and you race really hard in the beginning of the session, your tires are going to just wear away and you're just going to fall to the back of the field. So what you're going to want to do is you just want to try to control your speed throughout the beginning of this race, and then see what happens on from there.
There's the man who currently sits with the fastest time right now, Matthew McMeekin, in the number 41 Busch Ford Mustang. Derek Wegman now jumping up to the top in that number 39 machine at a 30.96. Now make it Roethlisberger going to the top. Mike Peters, we'll see what McMeekin can do here on this lap. Only fourth quickest for the number 41, but there is the man currently atop the pylon, the 93 of Zach Roethlisberger, one of only 3 drivers to go sub 31 seconds. We'll see Steven Johnson coming through, completing his second lap. He'll go up to 10th. Jesse Whittington in the 09. First attempted start of the season for Whittington, missing out at Daytona and at Michigan as well. Nice and low through these corners. And Whittington up to P2 at a 30.89. Solid run for that New Energy Chevrolet. Jonathan Casebeer, the number 6. Fast and All Mustang. Lap 2 for Casebeer. Is going to be a no-go. Must have hit the wall on both of his laps, so he does not set a valid qualifying time. Almost guarantees that he will be running in the heat race if more than 40 drivers attempt to qualify. See Craig Forsyth here in the number 53. Now, Daniel, you're younger than I am. Can you explain what the what is going on this number 53, or are you as lost as I am?
I'm going to have to say I'm as lost as you are. Okay. I do not know 53. I've never seen that happen in qualifying before, so this is kind of the first for me.
I mean the sponsor and the paint scheme on the car, I meant.
Yeah, I have no question. I honestly don't know what that is.
Michael Robinson qualifying into the 40th position, a 35.18 for the number 87 Reese's Machine. Trevor Dalton, 33rd quickest on his first lap, and he will jump all the way up to 9th. Very good recovery for the number 27. And it looks as though there's a very, very good chance that we will have our heat race here tonight. And it will not include Johnny Lefever's on up. So the sprint race to determine who will make it into the field should be led off by Eric Peterson, and it will be. So let's take a look at the grid here. For our heat race tonight, Eric Peterson in the number 36 will lead the field away. Michael Robinson, the only 2 drivers of this group to set a qualifying time, they will sit on the front row. Kevin West, Riley Hoots, Jonathan Casebeer, Todd Merkel, row 3, with Wally Limlaw making up the 7 drivers that will compete here in this sprint race. And again, only the top 2 will advance. So, Daniel, when you get into a sprint race scenario like these guys have right now, certainly want to get up as quickly as possible. However, you also don't want to wreck your car to take you out of a chance of making the big show. How do you proceed with a race like this?
Well, let me just tell you this. I was in a heat race at one time, and I blew my chances going into the main event. That was because I was being a little too careless at the end. So what you want to do in these heat races is you don't want to use your tire wear all at once. You want to try to save your tires as much as possible. And you want to try to stay in that top 3 if possible as well. Now, if you follow the top 3, then you're going to have to use a little more tire wear to try to get up to the front, or try a different strategy to get up to the front. But what you want to try to do is you want to try to get in the top 2 to advance to the main round. If not, then you're just going to have to try a different time.
4 cars have rolled off the grid. Eric Peterson and Michael Roberts, Kevin West, and Jonathan Casebeer, the top 2 rows, the first row, the inside of the second row, and the inside of the third row have rolled off. Riley Hoots, Todd Merkel, and Wally Limlaw have not pulled off in an attempt to make it to the final race. Now, they might be pit starting. However, they are going to need to really get a move on here, as this is a very short amount of time that these drivers will have to try to make this race. So getting set for the sprint race here at Kansas. Green flag is in the air. as we are rolling here at Kansas. Michael Robinson, a very good run off of that outside line. He is going to get the lead spot, but the battle is right here. It's Eric Peterson and Kevin West. Peterson's got that high line, though. He's got more banking up there. Able to hold it, but still on these early tires, Daniel, that inside line able to hold.
You're going to see most of the drivers using the inside lane the first half of this heat. Now, when this race is going on in the main event throughout a green flag run, you're going to see the drivers move up to the top lane. That's what usually happens just because of the tires and the grip on the track now. As you see, I believe that's the 27 in the lead.
Riding on board here with Jonathan Casepier, sitting very nice and calmly at the back of this group. See the damage on the 36. He has caught the wall somewhere. Has Eric Peterson. Here the playing with the throttle for Casepier, trying to stay out of that outside wall, as right now Michael Robinson starting to run away with it. Already 0.7 of a second clear of this battle here with Kevin West. A couple of laps to go here as West, Peterson, and Casepier getting very, very close with each other. Show here for a second. We got 2 laps to go here in this sprint race. White flag is in the air, 1 lap to go. And it's looking like Michael Robinson is going to come away with this win as Casepier gets around Eric Peterson. Peterson is actually going to pull it off. He will not finish, it would appear. And coming out of turn number 4, it will be Michael Robinson winning the sprint race. And Kevin West will head into the race as well. Jonathan Casepier, Eric Peterson, Todd Merkel, Wally Limlaw, and Riley Hoots will go no further. So, Daniel, let's take a look at the starting grid here for our overall race here tonight. Starting on pole with a time of 30.864 will be Zach Roethlisberger. He will start with Jesse Whittington to his outside. Justin Lewis and Joey Beck will make up row number 2. Mike Peters and GT Hawkins will sit in row 3. Row 4 goes to Derek Wegman and Isaac Love. Trevor Dalton and Johnny Wood will make row number 5. Michael Matta and Chad Jones will sit in row number 6. Row 7 will see Matt Metler and Maxwell Caldwell, Matthew McMeekin and Robert Henrata. In row 8, Josh Tarrant-Hill and Michael Caffrey in row 9. Dalton Randolph and Lilith Peters in row 10, making up the top half of the field. Joshua Yarborough and Steven Johnson in row 11. Barrett Flo and Charles Teed will make up row number 12. Row 13 will see Mark Brown and Ryan Farrell, Blake Madu and Ronnie Hurst in row 14. Adam Lowe and Eric Schaus in row 15. Jason Crumley and David Hanna in row 16. Row 17 will go to Raymond Kimmel and Brendan Kornoyer. Brandon Murray and Jeremy Flanagan will make up row number 18. Row 19. Or I've lost my place. Raymond Craig Forsyth and Johnny Lefevers will make up row number 19. Michael Robinson and Kevin West will round out the field. And it appears as though, at least on the grid, Jonathan Casepier, Eric Peterson, and Riley Hoots will be participating in this race. I thought it was up to 40, but I could have been mistaken. First race back in a while, so forgive me. as we're trying to get back into the swing of things. Weather conditions here for tonight's race. It is just past 7 p.m. in sim time. Track temperature of 69 degrees with an ambient temperature of 68 degrees. So that just means a cool racetrack. A lot of horsepower is going to be made, which means these cars are going to be grippy and they're going to be fast here tonight. So, Daniel, as we wind up, we have 3 pace laps that we're going to be doing here in a little bit of an extended time on the grid here.
Correct.
Do you like having this extended time on the grid? Because while it is nice to relax a little bit before the race, it also kind of gives you time to think, overthink, and overthink again before getting into the start of this race.
I mean, I think it's good for these drivers just so they can get their mindsets ready to go for that green flag flies. And I think it just gives them time to see how their car feels before the green flag flies, and just so they can get an idea what they can do as they go into turn 1.
And we are going to have, I'm sure, a lot of chances to get into turn 1 side by side here this evening. Again, mentioned 11 cautions at Michigan last week, 12 cautions at Daytona the week before. So we've seen our fair share of the yellow flag here tonight, this season so far. And as we had mentioned earlier, it's a part of the growing pains of a series, trying to figure out how to race around each other and what guys maybe need a little bit more room than the guys next to them. As we are starting up our pace laps, to get ready to go. First of a couple pace laps here, and while we are waiting on our pace laps to complete, we're going to take a quick pause here as I'm having a couple of issues on my end. So we will take a quick break. We'll be right back. We will get you back for the start of the race. Technical issues sorted, and just in time, too, as we come off of turn number 4, getting set to go. Green flag racing here at Kansas for round number 3 of the SCL Winston Cup Series. Diving off into turn number 1, it's Zach Roethlisberger on the inside, Jesse Whittington on the outside, and already cars using all 3 lanes. Oh, big wiggle out of Whittington.
Oh, it looks like we got a spin in the back. That looks like it's the 8 car.
It's the 8 of Josh Tarrant Hill. Ooh, somebody else getting caught up in that as well. That might have been Johnny Lefevers. It was. There's Lefevers in the 45 STP machine. There's Josh Tarrant Hill all torn up.
Hard hit.
And again, a lot of this comes from the outside lane. And it starts with that big wiggle that we saw coming out of turn 2 from Whittington on the outside of the front row here. Let's go back and take a look at the start here. Well, it looks like they get away clean. You're going to see, watch this 09 as we come through turns 1 and 2 here. Oh, he started wiggling in the center of the corner.
Yeah, it just got loose. Not sure what happened with the 8 though behind.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that right now, and possibly just the accordion effect as the 54 of Joey Beck also caught. Ooh, came flying up the racetrack.
It looked like he might have overcorrected it there. And the 45, just nowhere to go.
Let's jump on board here with Josh Tarrant Hill. Oh yeah, he got loose. Exactly right, Daniel. Just overcorrected, and then wait for it. There it is.
Yeah, that's a really hard situation to be in. When you are really loose coming off the corner, you know your car's coming around and you're trying to correct it. If you just yank the wheel the other way, you just cannot save it at that point. You're just along for the ride.
So the top 10 has shaken up a little bit. Zach Roethlisberger, Justin Lewis, Mike Peters, Isaac Love, points leader, up 4 positions on that opening lap. Trevor Dalton, Johnny Wood, Derek Wegman, Michael Matta, Chad Jones, and Maxwell Caldwell. A good amount of those drivers moving up quite a bit. Off the start, Maxwell Caldwell, there he is. At number 94. Matthew McMeekin just outside the top 10. Robert Henrata, Matt Mettler there as well. At THD Chevrolet Camaro. Dalton Randolph and Lilith Peters. The top 15 as they sit. A couple of drivers did come into pit. Naturally, Jesse Whittington coming in, trying to repair some of the damage. GT Hawkins in the number 14. He caught a bit of it as well. Joey Beck, Ryan Farrell. There's Farrell rolling off a pit road. Michael Caffrey came down pit road as well, and Johnny Lefevers and Josh Tarrant Hill, the 2 main participants in that wreck. Currently sitting on pit road out of the 40 drivers that started this race, 38 currently circulating around the racetrack.
Yeah, and I can expect more of these drivers getting really loose here in the first half of the race. We just need to try to find some of that grip on the track, and once they start finding that grip, I think they'll be fine. But I expect more self-spins here in the first half of this race.
A lot of guys trying to figure out the grip level of this car. It's been a while since the official series has been to Kansas. So these drivers, unless they're running in other next-gen leagues, will not have had too much practice time here at Kansas Speedway, all that recently, as we work our way down the back straightaway under our first caution of the evening. Thank you very much to everyone joining the broadcast here tonight. Marsupius in chat. Alex F. in chat as well. Thank you all. Taylor Caldwell, all in chat. Thank you all so very much. Taylor, thank you for the welcome back, as we appreciate your support as we run round number 3 of this SCL Series season. Getting back to green flag racing, Zach Roethlisberger leads them down again into the restart zone. Green flag in the air.
As you see, the 93 taking a good lead here on this restart. But look who's there in second place. It's the 95 of Mike Peters, getting around the 7 of Justin Lewis, heading into turn 2.
Peters able to clear that number 7 of Lewis coming out of turn 2. Trevor Dalton trying to work his way up, still holding that inside line, looking for 4th against Daytona 500, or the Daytona winner, Isaac Love. Also, Johnny Wood looking and peeking to that outside line, trying to make a 3rd lane.
As you see, the leader, Zach, still holding on to this lead here strong, but now the 7 is retaliating on this 95 of Mike, heading in turn 2 here to see if he can get around him.
Justin Lewis trying to hold on to that inside. Again, the inside line is not going to be the preferred line here for most of this race, but as this run goes on, as we take a look off the back of Justin Lewis, drivers are going to go down there to try to save that right front tire, trying to extend the run.
As you see, Justin Lewis in the 7 car taking over second place. And right behind him is the 95 of Peters. Right behind him is, in 4th place, is Love. And rounding out your top 5 is the 27 of Dalton. We really haven't talked about Dalton lately here, Frank. What do you think Dalton could do here?
Trevor Dalton certainly has been a very, very competitive driver in this series over the last couple of years. We're used to seeing him in Rusty Wallace's old Midnight machine. He's thrown it back a little bit further to that the Kodiak machine down there on the bottom. This series did a little bit of a cleanup after last year. Some drivers that weren't running as much, taking up some numbers. They did some housekeeping after last season, and it's brought a lot of new faces to new numbers, that number 27 being one of them. As we take a look a little bit further back, side by side, Matthew McMeekin, the 2nd place man in points, 2nd place finisher last week. Look to the inside of Dalton Randolph in the 26.
As you see the 26 going down the back straightaway there. Right behind him is the 41 of Matthew McKean. We mentioned him earlier. He's a really good driver.
Chad Jones and Johnson battling side by side just behind. Lilith Peters there as well, as we're seeing a lot of guys moving around here, both up and down on the racetrack and up and down on the timing and scoring pylon. One driver that's kind of stayed the same, series vet Joshua Yarborough, running 22nd. Started in 21st. Yarborough, a little bit of a slow start thus far for that number 77, but we've seen he's always seems to be around towards the end of these races.
And, you know, he might be saving his tires, like I mentioned before in this heat race. There's going to be drivers saving their tires, so then when these drivers do pit, they can gain position on track because they didn't use their tire wear, or fuel as much, as I should say.
Matt Medler trying to hold it down there towards the bottom line. Blake Madu. That Kiss number 063 Ford Mustang running just behind. So it appears though the top 18 have kind of gotten into a group of their own. As, ooh, big wiggle out of Isaac Love coming out of turn 2. Couldn't quite see if he got a run on the 7 and just had to dive down, or if he got loose coming out of 2.
I have no idea. But as you see, the 95 of Peters back there. Looks like we're going to go 3 wide here. Nope. We're going to stay 2 wide here as you see the 27 of Dalton trying to make a pass on 95 of Peters.
Maxwell Caldwell back there. He was the one that was looking at possibly making it 3 wide. We know Caldwell. Very, very good driver. Multi-time series champion here. As Zach Roethlisberger taking it to the outside now, trying to defend from the 750 of John Wood Jr. Justin Lewis right there as well.
As you see the 93 of Zach still in the lead here. In second place we have the 750 of Johnny Wood Jr. there. And right behind him is the 7 of Justin Lewis, who has a huge run on the 750. See if he can make a pass here in turn 3.
So it's that big run that you get from the slingshot off of the top line. And not able to do much with it is Justin Lewis right now, as you see that battle still commencing between Trevor Dalton, Maxwell Caldwell, Robert Henrata there in 96 as well. In there, the 41 of Matthew McMeekin also in the mix.
And it looks like the top 4 drivers, top 5, have really...
around they go!
7 hard in a wall. Wow.
Justin Lewis, Isaac Love. Looks like Matthew McMeekin, pardon the blinking there, this tends to happen. As these cars get spinning and get wild with a big field in there.
Wow.
I thought I had saw Johnny Wood. There's Johnny Wood. I thought I saw Johnny Wood hit the wall going into turn 3. And that kind of bunched everybody up. Let's try to take a look and see what happened here.
Let's see.
On board with Wood. Bring it out now. This back in turn 1.
Oh, yeah.
Catches the wall in 1.
Here we go down the back stretch. Keep an eye on that 7 car as well.
Oh. Yep, caught the wall there. The 7 tries to go to the inside. Ooh, hard hit.
And 7 just got tagged.
I think what looked like happened is we're right on board here with Lewis.
Gave him a little help there.
And that's what happens when cars start lagging out. But from what it looked like, I want to see this again here from a little bit of a different angle, because it almost looks as though Wood sailed it off into 3 a little bit harder, expecting Roethlisberger to go to the inside, and he didn't, and I think it caught him out a little bit.
Yeah, it did look like that too. And you saw the 95 there. He also made contact with the 750, so we might see the 95 for a little bit of damage as well.
Stuttering should hold off for a moment now. Well, I guess I lied. And unfortunately, this is just a thing that happens with a lot of cars in the session. I'll try to let me attempt to do something here in order to quell it. There it goes. It's looking a little bit better, at least for the moment. Seen this with other leagues. If you're a fan of the old Svenska iRacing League that we had on the channel, you'll know this scenario very well. these sessions work very, very well with 40 people in it when you're driving. When you're spectating, not as much.
so great.
Not as much.
Not so great.
A lot of cars did come down pit road there. Michael Matta, Steven Johnson, Michael Robinson, Blake Maddu, Brandon Murray, Jason Crumley, Ryan Farrell, who came down on lap 4 after the first caution, Eric Schaus, Brendan Kornoyer, all decided to stay out there. And my goodness, we are having a
major lap.
Yeah, I think once we get going here.
That happened to me once when I was racing, and oh man.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
I think once we get racing here, it should settle itself out, and if not, we'll have to resort to some other measures.
Even the pace car is glitching.
Yeah. So we're gonna go green here, and we're gonna cross our fingers as we will go green with 80 laps to go here at Kansas, with the top 9 having not pit, everybody else on fresh tires. See on the inside there of row number 2 for as quickly as you can see him. The 87 of Michael Robinson, remember the sprint race winner, trying to get himself some track position as we get set to go back to green flag racing. Into the restart zone they go. Green flag is back in the air, and boy, oh boy. Yeah, we're a little off, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say so. As you see the 16 of Michael Matta taking the lead there over the 44 of Steven Johnson coming out front
how could you
down
see
the
that?
back foot. I don't know.
Well, let me try to work something here. Yeah, this is not
not according to plan.
yeah, no, this is not working as well as I thought. Oh, we're starting to. Just, I think we're starting to get it. We're not getting it. As Michael Robinson looking to the inside, he's gotten past Steven Johnson. Now looking for the race lead. Falls into second. Again, this is. My computer has not worked like this in quite some time. The baseball season kept me away from broadcasting, so we're all trying to stretch our legs a little bit. Let's go back, try to find our way through the field. Something, yeah, no, this is not going well. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, as I believe another caution has just come out for a spin towards the back of the field. It looks like Matt Metler has gone around. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break, be right back, try to reset some of this stuff, and we'll bring the race back to you as soon as we can. A little bit of a reboot to the sim, and we are back to normal, at least for the moment. Again, Matt Mettler spinning. Coming out of turn 2 would be the cause of this caution coming out around lap 22. So we are getting set to go back to green flag racing. Michael Matta, who you can now see for the most part, in the race lead. Brandon Murray on the inside, as Matta has chosen the outside for this restart. Steven Johnson, Ryan Farrell, Blake Madu, your top 5. Zach Roethlisberger on the outside of row number 3. He is the first car that has taken tires in this race. So guys on different pit strategies, different pit cycles, all starting to work their way back up through this field. And through to a couple of guys who maybe did not pit under that most recent string of cautions that we've had here.
As you see the field making its way through turns 3 and 4, with the 16 of Michael Matta on the outside and the 88 of Brandon Murray on the inside.
Getting set to go. Green flag is in the air, and we are back to racing, working lap 28 here at Kansas. And again, a big run off that outside from Michael Matta.
And look how that 43 of Ryan Farrell made the move up to the outside lane. And that's because that's where you can get the runs here at Kansas Motor Speedway right now.
Well, kind of blocked now behind Steven Johnson and Brandon Murray. Maybe looking up that middle, but too early to make a move like that. However, take a look back towards the middle of the field. Guys trying to do whatever they can to make up positions. Inside, outside, all the way down to the grass, all the way up to the wall. You'll find a race car.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to want to be in that pack right there, just because it's all congealed right now. But you see drivers sorting out there. As you see, I believe that's the 60 getting loose there out turn 2. As you see the 09 making the pass there.
Jesse Whittington started on the outside of the front row, almost spun it out of turn 2 on the very first lap of this race, trying to make his way back up through the field. Eric Schaus in that number 60, as you mentioned before, getting loose. There's Barrett Flo, last week's winner at Michigan, up on that outside line. As I believe Isaac Love, who you're seeing right now in number 62, may have taken a detour coming out of turn number 4 here a moment ago. Oh yeah, he certainly did.
Oh my. He's mowing the grass.
That is most decidedly not the racing line. Let's take a look and see what got him into that predicament. A little bit of net contact with Joshua Yarborough.
Just a racing incident.
More cars trying to work their way up as the caution has flown. Here's the Joey Beck. Number 54 is going to be the unfortunate party here. That's loose. And then helped out by Peterson in the 50 there as well.
Oh, he comes back up track. Whoa. Yeah, I don't think there was anything that he could do there.
I said Peterson, Charles Teed in the 50, pardon me.
Once again, it looks like another driver got loose and just overcorrected it.
This is a very loose car for the most part. Here are these next gens, and once they get going, it's kind of hard to bring them back. Ryan Farrell comes down pit road. Kevin West, Blake Madu coming down pit road as well. GT Hawkins.
You see some of these drivers coming down pit road. I'm assuming they're going to get 4 fresh tires and Sunoco fuel. And I can see why they're playing this strategy. Just because, like, let's say another caution comes out, they can stay out, and then maybe the drivers that didn't come in this round will come in the next caution. So then those drivers that came in right now can gain track position.
Just get all that ground back as much as you can. Josh Tarrant-Hill still on pit road from his incident on lap 2. There's the 72 of Jeremy Flanagan. He's been on pit road for the better part of 10 laps now. Joey Beck, Charles Teed appear to be done for the evening. Raymond Kimmel on pit road for a minute and a half at this point. A lot of other drivers staying down pit road right now to try to repair what little bit of damage that they have. So we are under caution number 5 here at Kansas Speedway. And again, as we had mentioned, Daniel, the early part of this season has seen 23 cautions through 2 races. We saw 12 at Daytona to open up the season, 11
right
last week. Again, just a byproduct of a lot of guys on track, number 1, and a lot of guys on track who aren't used to racing around each other. Sure, there are guys here that have plenty of experience, not just with this league, but with racing with each other, but even more drivers that they haven't raced with.
Correct, and that's the thing. You don't know how these drivers are that you never raced with. You don't know how they race, and that's the thing. The only way you're going to know that you can work with them and see if you can race with them is by being in a race with them, first off, and then just seeing how they race. And then once you see how they race, maybe you can trust them.
Going to have another big, wide track to go to next week, as this series will find its way to Twin Ring Motegi next week for the Oval. It is one of the better races every single year that this series puts on, and Motegi, fortunately, at least for the 3 or 4 seasons that we've been broadcasting them, has certainly become a staple. Such a big, wide racetrack. That oval at Motegi has been so good with these guys. So happy to see that they're coming back to it next week.
Yeah, I mean, Motegi, I think it's an excellent track to bring the next gen car to you. It brings excellent racing to the fans and everybody there, and it's just a great environment to be in.
Pocono, Iowa, Charlotte, Talladega, Nashville, Indianapolis, Bristol, and then Atlanta. The rounds of this season to close it out, as we are getting set to close out this caution period and get to the action once again. As Brandon Murray, your current race leader in that Liberty University number 88, has elected to take the inside line here. Murray, Matta, and Steven Johnson currently in 4th. Eric Schaus as well in the 60, running in 12th. Have not come down pit road in any way, shape, or form yet in this race, as we are getting set to go back to green flag racing once again, working lap 36. Off and rolling we go.
As you see the 88 of Brandon Murray taking that lead here early over the 93 of Zach, who's been mostly up in the top 5 this whole race so far. As you see back there for 5th place, I believe, is the 26 of Randolph, and the 95 of Peters battling for the top 5.
3 wide now side by side as they get that sorted out. Very poor start for Roethlisberger's. Oh, wow. Steven Johnson hard into the wall.
That's going to bring out caution.
Yep, there we go. Now there it is.
Wow.
Saw in the background that Matthew McMeekin had gotten into the wall in the 41. There he is backwards. And I believe it might be Derek Wegman who just went by in front of him. Yes, it is, in the number 39. Out of Patchogue, New York. Not far away from where I grew up, as a matter of fact, on Long Island. So let's take a look at what started this, because there were a couple of different incidences here. Blake Madu going off track.
Oh.
That's
interesting.
Oh.
Hard hit there for the 063.
Madu hit a rogue Matthew McMeekin.
Hope he's all right
See
there.
if we can find out what happened with McMeekin. Oh, Isaac Love going down as well. McMeekin, Lilith Peters, Adam Lowe catching a bit of it as well. And there's Wegman, just had it locked down. And when you're that hard on the brakes, as
You just slide.
yeah, there's no turning at that point.
No, and you're just going along for the ride there at that point. When you press the brakes that hard, you're just sliding.
See what happened to Isaac Love here.
Coming off turn 4.
He got hit by McMeekin. That's the second time he's now gone through.
The infield.
He might have enough. And then catches Joshua Yarborough, who's the one that sent him down there the first time, coincidentally enough. He might have enough rubber down there to make a move later on in the race.
He might. 44's got tons of front end damage there.
And then we saw Steven Johnson get hit. Oh, he's already gone at that point. Let's see what happened to Steven Johnson here. Ooh, just maybe door-to-door contact with the 26 of Randolph, and it sent Johnson a lot more than it sent Randolph. Ryan Farrell once again coming down pit road. Brandon Murray and Michael Matta have once again not come down pit road. So these two appear to be playing the one-stop game. And with the cautions that we've had, it might actually work for them. Childhood Cancer Chevrolet ZL1. As we are getting set to get back underway here. 32 cars on the lead lap. Right now, Matt Metler in the 311 and Steven Johnson, who is back out on track after using a fast repair, are the only two drivers currently on their lap, one lap down. So there'll be a fight between these two in 33rd and 34th as to who will get the free pass under the next caution. And Daniel, interesting to see, Brandon Murray has elected the outside on this restart. He had the inside last one, has the outside on this one. As I believe I have. Oh, there he is. There he is. Daniel dropped without me seeing him.
Yeah, my microphone stopped working, so I had to reconnect it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, interesting to see here. Brandon Murray, after electing the inside on the last restart, elects the outside here with Zach Roethlisberger to his inside. Green flag coming out, working lap 42 of 100. Green flag is in the air, and that outside line gets a very good launch once again.
As you see the 93 of Zach taking that second place right now. You saw him on the restart go right to the top lane because he knows that's where his car handles the best. As you see, in the third position is the 95 of Mike Peters, now under fire from the 16 of Michael Matta.
Michael Matta just sliding in behind Justin Lewis. Dalton Randolph going all the way down to the grass. And Daniel, that's a very good move to go all the way down to the grass. Cuts the lap time a little bit, allows you maybe to get a run and get under somebody. However, there is no rule that states that the person to your outside has to let you back up.
And that's what we see drivers fall into. Those are problems that we see drivers fall into a lot of times here at Kansas, where they literally hug the white line down to the grass, and then when it comes to turn one, they have nowhere to go.
A couple of guys moving up through the field. There you see last week's winner, Barrett Flo, trying to make a move under Jesse Whittington, who's back inside the top 10 for the first time since his little excursion on lap 1. Michael Matta still holding on. Brandon Murray, again, I want to make a point here. Brandon Murray, again, has not yet pit in this race, and he is starting to pull away from drivers who came into pit on lap 18, albeit, so they've got some time on the tires, but not nearly as much time as Brandon Murray. He is looking to try to make this one-stop strategy work, and he is not falling back as you would expect somebody on older tires to do.
You would think the driver with older tires would fall back in the pack, but obviously not, as you see the 88 still holding this lead strong. But look, it's the 93 of Zach trying to challenge him for the lead.
And Roethlisberger can't quite make that move down on the inside line stick, forced to go back to the outside. Justin Lewis laying in wait, as is Dalton Randolph. Mike Peters there as well. Jesse Whittington stuck on the inside of Johnny Wood. We saw how quick Johnny Wood in the 750 was earlier on tonight, getting back up inside the top 10 for the first time since his accident earlier on.
And don't count out the 7 of Justin Lewis. We also saw him get into an accident earlier on in this race, and look where he is already. He's back up in the top 3, trying to contend for a win here tonight.
Took the fast repair after the accident on lap 14. Came down pit road a couple of times to top off, was down pit road on lap 18. He is right there as Murray, I think, got a little bit too high there through 3 and 4. That allows Roethlisberger the door. He will take the race lead. Coming down to the bottom, 93 to the point again.
As you see the 93 of Zach taking the lead here once again in the SCL Winston Cup Series here at Kansas Motor Speedway. That 7 car of Justin Lewis is playing no game here. He wants to take this lead away as fast as possible.
Absolutely looking to that bottom. You see cars way up on the outside, way up, way down on the bottom. As we'll ride on board here with your current race leader, Zach Roethlisberger. Off the back of that number 93, there you see Mike Peters in the 95. Looking to the bottom, also down there, Maxwell Caldwell.
As you see, we're still riding on board with the 93. But look at the 26 of Randolph making a move here, trying to get past the
It's Murray in the 88.
what's his name? The 88, yeah.
Brandon Murray. Murray's still holding that outside line. He's able to keep a little bit of momentum as now Justin Lewis trying to look to the inside. Could not quite make that move work. As Jesse Whittington and GT Hawkins now running side by side. Hawkins, another one that was part of that incident on lap 2. He has come down to pit on lap 32. He is the farthest up the field with the freshest tires in the field right now in that number 14.
As we look more into this pack, you see the 95 of Mike Peters there battling alongside the 92 of Barrett Flo. We haven't really talked about Barrett Flo lately in the 92. I mean, do you think he could be a contender for the win tonight? I mean, look at him. He's already in the top 10.
Absolutely. Series champion, winner last week. Michael Matta catches the wall in the background. Is able to lean on the 14, able to keep it straight, but Matta now falling out of the top 10. But again, going back to Barrett Flo, absolutely. He's a contender every single time he jumps out onto the racetrack. Street Stock Series champion as well here in this league. Certainly a contender when he gets into position. He's been fighting. Plus 15 is that number 92 Barrett Flo at the moment. Let's take a look at another driver.
Oh!
Speaking of Barrett Flo, into the wall he goes.
And I believe that's
Trevor Dalton as well.
See the 43 dodging the 92. Other drivers driving around him. Barrett Flo, just as we were talking about him, Frank. Commentator curse?
Yeah, Barrett, we're sorry. It happens every now and again. It's the 27 of Trevor Dalton. His car torn up. Front left fender completely missing.
Wasn't sure who else was involved. I know it was a Toyota driver.
There's GT Hawkins. Johnny Wood as well. Caught up with damage.
Second time in a row he's been caught in an incident today.
Also, we're talking about the run that GT Hawkins has moved up through the field as well.
As these drivers are getting service on pit road right now. Looks like the 14's didn't get some new tires on that.
Let's take a look and see what happened.
Let's take a look at this replay here.
Wow. The 750 just came down a little bit too far.
27 also just came out of nowhere. Shot right up into the wall.
They've gotten some help, I think. Trevor Dalton. Let's see if we can figure out who that was. It might.
There's a 27. Watch this, 27. It looked like 60.
Yeah,
looks like
Schaus.
the 60.
I was going to say possibly the 777 of Michael Caffrey, but no, that was, you're 100% right. A little bit of a door ding from the 60 of Schaus.
I don't think that was. I don't think that was anybody's fault there. I think they were just all trying to avoid this wreck happening on the top lane because you never know, a car could hit the outside wall and literally bounce back at you. So they're just trying to dodge and avoid this wreck. It just happens.
Justin Lewis wins the race off of pit road. Yes, Michael Matta has now come into pit, as well as the 88 of Brandon Murray. 4 drivers did not pit. Michael Robinson, the winner of the sprint race. Ronnie Hurst, Lilith Peters, Adam Lowe. The drivers who did not come into pit. One car will be getting a free pass. There you see that is the 412 of Raymond Kimmel. Kimmel is multiple laps down, so he'll get a free pass here. Lucky dog recipient would have been the 44 of Steven Johnson, so he is back on the lead lap. That, I believe, will leave Matt Metler as the first car 1 lap down. Really quick, we just mentioned the sprint race. Let's take a look at the results from the aforementioned sprint race. There is Michael Robinson, the 87, taking his first sprint race win of the season. Kevin West, the other driver who was able to transfer into the show, finishing second, as there is Kevin West there in the 13th position, that number 47. Jonathan Casebeer, Eric Peterson, the other two drivers competing in the sprint, did not make it into the show. Riley Hoots, Todd Merkel, and Wally Limlaw did not qualify and did not participate in the sprint race.
As we might see the lights on the pace car go off. Yep, there they go.
There's Kimmel around to get back one of his several laps. So it'll be
I really
Michael
like
Rob-
that 87 speed.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if I wasn't allergic to Reese's, I would say that's certainly a very nice one.
Well, it makes me hungry for Reese's just looking at it. So.
Those peanut allergies don't help, especially around candy time. Halloween at the end of the month.
22 of Ronnie Hurst in there in second. We haven't seen Ronnie Hurst up here in the top 10. Neither the one of LaVille Peters. So we're going to have to see how they do. But don't count out that 7. I have a feeling the 7 of Justin Lewis is going to be in the front in no time.
Third row on back, all fresh tires.
Oh, boy.
Robinson came into pit on lap 25. Hurst, 32. Lilith Peters and Adam Lowe last came into pit on lap 38. As we get set to go, about to begin lap 58. Robinson gets a good jump off the bottom. Green flag back in the air. A very poor start on that outside line again. This time it's by Ronnie Hurst.
You see the 1 of Peters taking second place there, but look at this 7. He's holding strong on that inside line, and it looks like he's going to take third away from the 22.
Contact.
Oh, contact!
Somebody around.
I don't know who that was. Whoa!
And
As the caution comes out.
Somebody went around in the back as Dalton Randolph almost catching Kevin West. Kevin West almost losing it.
Wow.
That got very, very close between Zach Roethlisberger and Caldwell coming off of that corner. There's Joshua Yarborough getting back onto the racetrack with a little bit of damage.
Gonna have to take a look at this replay here.
I think it might have been Barrett Flo. Robert Henrata there as well. Take a look here. Just
contact.
There it was. It started where we thought it started.
Right.
Just couldn't quite see who it was, who it had started with. Now
I do know they were 3 wide. I do know that.
So that's what happened with Henrata. What happened with Flo and Yarborough that had them so far back? The 777 of Caffrey goes really slow. And the accordion effect pushes Barrett Flo up and out.
Yeah, I mean, when you have one driver check up, that just stacks up everybody behind you. And it's so hard to slow down in time, and that's what exactly happens. Like, there's going to be drivers just getting knocked out of the way. So, I mean, I can understand their frustration from it, as you see we're on board here. Right there.
Watch that 777 checked up. And
that's the worst feeling you can ever have, is just seeing a driver check up right in front of you, and you have nowhere to go, and you can't stop in time. It's just a hard feeling.
I think there's going to be a new rule for us up in the booth next week. Do not talk about Barrett Flo, because the second we started, he's now been in the last 2 crashes that have brought out cautions. So I'm sure that will be a... if we can't talk about somebody, is that a talking point or is that a non-talking point? Is it a talking point that we can't talk about someone, but if we talk about the person we're not supposed to be talking about, that kind of...
Right.
Anyway. Confusing myself.
Just the good old commentator curse.
Ronnie
87
Hurst.
there. Still
Ronnie
holding on
Hurst
to the lead there.
Yep. Ronnie Hurst has come down pit road, as has Michael Caffrey. Matthew McMeekin down pit road as well. Matt Metler gets the benefit of the lucky dog here. So the 311 is back on the racetrack. On the lead lap.
So we're well past halfway, Frank. What are we expecting to see out of these drivers now that we're on lap 61, heading on to lap 62? And we know some of these drivers are going to start getting aggressive because they know that they're going to want to get to the front and try to compete for a win. So what are our expectations here?
I'm going to be brutally honest. I have no expectations because I'm just personally trying to get back into the swing of things after not broadcasting for so long. So I'm kind of focusing on myself right now and just letting the race do what it's going to do. I've got enough stuff over here to keep me busy while I try to get back into doing this and prediction making. That's the future telling orb is not yet dusted off and back on the shelf yet.
Yeah, it's the same with me. Like, I haven't broadcasted in a long time, and now I'm just getting back into things. It's just so unpredictable.
Still have a ton of cars in this race as well. GT Hawkins appears to be done, as does Johnny Wood. So by my count, that would be, what, 35 cars?
Yeah, that sounds
still
about right.
Racing.
Yeah. And look who's in the second row. Remember the 7 of Justin Lewis? He started on the third row on this last restart. Now he's up to the second row. We're going to have to see how this 93 and 7 battle out here on this restart here.
Zach Roethlisberger has been up front most of this race.
Pace car comes off.
Here we go. Michael Robinson getting set to bring him down one more time. Green flag is back out. We are racing again here at Kansas.
'87 getting a good launch there as you see the 7 battling with the 1.
Big wiggle.
Peters.
Big wiggle out of Mike Peters. Jesse Whittington, both of them are able to catch it.
43.
Able to stay green. You mentioned the 43. That's Ryan Farrell. There he is. Up on that high line. Oh, around at the front.
45.
Johnny Lefevers getting pinched by Dalton Randolph. Caution number 9 of the evening.
Just a cluster of cars. It's so tight racing. If you get tapped on the quarter panel, it could send you around very easily, and that looks like what happened here coming off the turn. As you see the 26 of Dalton Randolph there with some damage on that 26.
Randolph has been involved in his fair share of incidents tonight, but the majority of them have just been him being in the wrong place at the wrong time. As this one, Randolph had caught the wall coming out of 4, and then Lefevers just melded back up into him. Yeah. Let's take a look and see on board of Dalton Randolph here.
I think the 45 comes up the track. Yeah.
Catches the wall and just inches himself into the wall. And then a nice moment for these two to display hand gestures at each other. And
hey, how's your race going?
Yeah, I'm backwards. That should tell you.
As you see the 26 there.
Michael Robinson coming down pit road. Mike Peters also. Kevin West there as well. Some guys that were up towards the front. There's Matthew McMeekin. See his car has been through the wars tonight.
Handful of drivers have been in incidents tonight. And I don't think this is going to be the last caution either, Frank.
Still a lot of cars on track, as there's Isaac Love, the current championship points leader, getting the free pass that will put him one lap down to the race lead. And the good news for Love is, unless a long green flag run happens where somebody new gets lapped, Love is the only driver one lap down, so he will be the free pass car next caution as well.
I believe Love will get back on the lead lap here.
So
See the one.
Lilith Peters in the number one. This is her first go of it in the lead here tonight. She has not had a start to the season for her that has been emblematic of her skill and quality in one of these cars. Daytona, which we all know anything can happen. Peters came home in 26th. And then last week at Michigan, she came home in 5th. So a solid run last week, but that start to the season at Daytona did not help her cause in the standings. And right now trying to make up for some lost ground. And again, one of those drivers who we had mentioned, still early in the season, everyone's really close. You can make up big moves and bounds. Mentioned Maxwell Caldwell being down in 26th in points coming into this race. Lilith Peters, another one who's one you should expect to be fighting for the championship, mired back in points after the first couple of races.
And don't forget, we're only a couple races in, so they got a long way to go too. But you don't want to continue having bad streaks, because when you have bad streaks, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse with you in the points. So what you want to try to do is you want to try to build that confidence level up so then you can get more points here. As you see the pace car lights come off.
And again, the point standings here are something to be noted. It is not the current point standings for those of you maybe watching the series for the first time. This is not the standard 43 for a win, 42, 41, and so down. This is the old Winston Cup points. So you get 180 points for a win, 170 for second, 165 for third, and so on. So you can make up a lot of points if somebody such as, say, Isaac Love, who currently leads the points, who's pinned a lap down in 30th, were to have a bad night. So it would behoove some of those championship contenders,
No, you're fine.
like Peters and Caldwell, to keep this race green and try to keep him pinned back there. As we are getting set to go, green flag racing back again on lap 69 of 100. Lilith Peters, a very good restart on that inside line as we are rolling.
Look at that 7 car holding that inside line. Has the grip down there now, as he's going to take second place away from the 93 of Zach.
Roethlisberger really falling back. Lilith Peters going up to the wall. It's been very, very interesting to watch. That outside line, when it has not been the control line, has been very, very poor on these restarts. However, it's been very, very good as Peters catches the wall there through 1 and 2. It has been very good, exponentially better than the inside when the control car takes that line.
And since she got into the wall there in turn 1 and 2, that's going to allow the 7 of Justin Lewis get to the inside. He's going to come up the track. Ooh, barely makes contact. He's going to lose that ground. He's going to have to regroup there. And try to fight for that lead once again as you see the 93 of Zach Roethlisberger taking second place there.
There you go. As Roethlisberger now up on that outside line, he will take the position. Maxwell Caldwell there as well in third. As Caldwell going to look to the inside. Caldwell was the fastest car in practice here earlier tonight. So Caldwell, go ahead.
Look who's back in this mix though. Like, it's the 88 of Brandon Murray. I was not expecting. Oh, 7 being a little aggressive there. But look at the Brandon Murray up there in the top 5. Once again, he could be a contender first win, but the 7 is just now falling backwards, now under pressure from the 27 there of Dalton.
And you can see it happen when you're out of your preferred line, the line that you're most comfortable in. You tend to fall back, and after that close call with Lilith Peters up at the front of this field, that 7 has taken a little bit of time to regroup, and now looking to make a move on Murray for that 4th position. Caldwell kind of blocking him off on that bottom side, which does not allow him the momentum and the run down the back straightaway to keep side by side with the 88.
As you see the 7 of Justin Lewis battling their 5th position. A little further on back, we have the 27 of Dalton, and right behind him is the 43 of Farrell. The 43 of Farrell, he is starting to make his way up to the top 5 here, but I mean, I don't think he's out of contention just yet, but I think he's doing a really great job here tonight.
Farrell, very, very quick driver, again, as we've seen if you followed SCL Racing for quite some time. Farrell knows what it takes to win these races, as Zach Roethlisberger looking now to the inside for the race lead on Lilith Peters. Roethlisberger last time around went down the fastest lap of the race at a 30.75. It's about a 10th quicker than what he ran in qualifying. However, not able to get around that one.
Here comes Brandon Murray. Now he's up to the top 3. Now he's trying to put pressure on the 93 of Zach. But right on the inside of him is the 90. No, my bad. The 27, I believe.
That's the 7 of Justin Lewis, Maxwell Caldwell there as well, as they go 3 wide. Going through 1 and 2, and Murray's going to lose positions to both of them, as Caldwell now fighting that lack of momentum on the inside on corner exit, trying to keep pace with Murray in the 88.
As you see the 7 there right behind Roethlisberger there in the 93. 93 is going to go to the inside of the 1. See if he can make it stick. He's going to slide up the track right in front of the 1. Oh, the 1's playing back now.
That little bit of contact is what's going to open the door for Justin Lewis, and that's 7, 3 wide. Peters stuck in the middle, Murray on the outside. And Lilith Peters now not where she wants to be, stuck in the middle on older tires, 15-lap older tires for that number 1, as Roethlisberger and Lewis battle now for the race lead. I think it's safe to say that Justin Lewis has recovered.
Yeah, I think he's recovered well throughout this race, and now he's in the right position at the right time coming to the end of this race here and battling with the 93 who's been up here most of the night.
Just on the north side of 20 laps to go here at Kansas. Maxwell Caldwell there sliding up into the 4th position. Ryan Farrell battling side by side with Trevor Dalton. That's for 5th. Also Jesse Whittington there as well in the 09. He's starting to move his way back up through the field. The highest he's been since that incident on lap 1.
As you see the 43 making a move here with the 94 of Caldwell battling for 3rd. Going to be side by side with the 88 of Murray.
Maxwell Caldwell able to make that move and keep that momentum up on the bottom line. Ooh, Lilith Peters catching the wall there in that number 1. Starting to slip back, and this was not what she was hoping for. Contact with the 96. Somehow keeps it straight. Great driving Great save from Robert Henrata.
I don't know how he did that, but that was incredible save there down the back straightaway for the 96 there.
This is interesting to see. Nice little battle forming here in the midfield.
It's like pack racing here.
Adam Lowe in 13th position leading this field.
There's the 6. Oh, 77's in the wall.
Joshua Yarborough, one of the few Toyotas in this field. Mikhail Robinson came into pit under the last caution. He's starting to work his way up through the field now. Back up into 18th.
There's that 26 of Dalton Randolph there. He was caught in an incident earlier tonight, making a way through the field.
As part of that last caution, back on lap 65. Michael Matta having some connection issues there. There he is, popping back in the number 16. Getting to the inside and passing Adam Lowe now. That's 16 leading the front of this field. Looking up front, and again, we are really racing up here at the front.
Whoa.
Now as Jesse Whittington moves up into third, gets in front of Justin Lewis as well as Brandon Murray.
And look at the 43 in the top 5. The 43 of Ryan Farrell doing an excellent job here.
Farrell always seems to find his way up into a position to win. Same thing with the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. Again, he was the fastest in practice. Qualified in 14th.
There goes the 09 of Wellington. See if he's going to make a move on this 93.
Pardon me, did not qualify 14th. My, oh, actually, you know what? I think it might have.
Oh, this might be going 3 wide here. No.
Caldwell up to that outside. He has not been a driver who's been content with riding on the outside. He's been wanting the bottom. Now he's forced to that outside with Whittington.
Whoa, 43 flipping back.
Big move from Ryan Farrell. Caldwell with the dive. Still 15 laps to go when we hit the line.
I think this 43 is going to come up to the outside lane right now.
Yep, there he goes.
Like you mentioned earlier, Frank, there was the 94 all the way down to the grass.
There he is, down to the bottom again. 7-car front pack. Caldwell, Roethlisberger, Farrell, Murray, Whittington, Dalton, Lewis. Mike Peters is trying to detach himself from the group behind him and make his way up to this front pack, racing for the race win. And you know what? I think he's done it.
Yeah, I think he's caught the draft there on that 7-car of Lewis.
Boy, these guys are all
Yellow
over the place.
flag,
Caution comes out. There's one car missing, a couple of cars missing. Oh, big hit!
93.
Big hits.
Wow. It looks like the 26 there is involved again.
Yes, it is. 53 is there.
93 was having such a great night. Zach Roth-Lissenberger.
There's Ryan
up
Farrell.
Oh, man, he's got engine damage, it looks like. Another contender for the win.
Some smoke puffing out the back of the 43.
I'm
Dalton
sure they're not
Randolph again destroyed.
Broken toe link on that car, it looks like.
Johnny Lefevre's had another incident earlier on, and this comes out perfectly for Isaac Love, who will be the free pass car. So Love, when it looked like he was going to come up just a little bit short of getting back onto the lead lap and being able to try to win this race, is going to come back and get another chance, as here is Zach Randolph. Well, this is the second part of the incident.
Hard hit coming up.
Yep.
Bam! 47.
Yep, got a double too.
Yeah, looks like he got the 93. It shot up into the 53 there. 26 just had nowhere to go at that point.
Here's what happened to trigger the incident. Farrell and Roethlisberger, while 3 wide. Very, very close.
It's hooked
Just
right on
that
the quarter panel.
little bit of contact.
Just when I mentioned earlier, Frank, you don't want to be pushing on these quarter panels too hard just because you know what can happen here. One wrong push and they're going to go sideways into the wall.
Might have moved up a little bit, trying to give Caldwell. There's a couple of really hard shots there.
Somebody's hood's flying off.
I think that's the 53 of Forsyth. It's just one of those incidents where
You're racing hard. I mean, that's all you can say.
racing hard, you're trying to give some guys room. And while trying to give somebody else room, you take room away from somebody else. You end up wrecking both of you. And that's exactly what happened there.
And look who's in first place right now. It's the 16 of Michael Matta once again up here in the top 3. And right behind him is the the 87 of Michael Robinson. And in third place is Stephen Johnson, the 44.
Michael Matta, again, trying to make the one-stop strategy work in that number 16. Last came into pit on lap 54. He is the only driver in the field right now. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Brendan Cornoyer has also only made 1 pit stop. Cornoyer, however, is down in 32nd. Compare that to the lead for Michael Matta. He's the only one that has really stuck with this one-stop strategy. Michael Robinson in second. Last came into pit on lap 65. Stephen Johnson on lap 59. And everybody else has come in. Now, Daniel, I want to let you in on something that seems to happen only in this series that can never be duplicated anywhere else, especially by me. Did you or did you not see Kevin West in the mid-20s slam into another race car just a second ago?
I did.
He is now in 4th place with a brand new race car and fresh tires. How do people in this league crash and end up better because of it?
I honestly don't know. I think it's just a game of luck at this point, because that happened to me multiple times.
No, there's a strategy, because it's every race. Somebody in this league crashes and ends up better for it. There's a strategy involved to it. There has to be.
I mean, there could be a strategy, but I mean, whenever that happened to me, it was just downhill from there. But I mean, there could be a strategy, you're right.
I crash and lose 20 positions. Kevin West just gained 20 as we get set to go. 10 laps to go here at Kansas Speedway. Green flag back in the air. Top 3 did not pit. Matta gets a great start.
Look at that outside lane, just all bunched up there. Didn't get a great restart. As you see the 44 there, Johnson holding strong there for 2nd place.
Kevin West trying to push. Ooh, contact!
I believe that was 96.
And they're far enough off the racing line. We stay green.
Oh, a little loose there out of the 47 there.
Now the caution comes out. As Michael Caffrey has gone around in turn 4. Somebody else down there with him. It's David Hanna. Whew.
You think anybody's going to pit?
No, I don't think so.
I'm glad you said that, because I don't think anybody's going to pit.
Everybody but the top 3 came into pit that last time, and I think with how late it is in the race, you've made your bet at this point. Let's see what happened with Robert Henrada. Side-by-side contact.
Oh.
That's with Barrett Flo.
Slow tap.
And again, because Henrado was as far off the racing line as he was.
Oh, 77. 45 again.
45 in it, 28 in it, 77 as well. Again, because
45.
Henrado was as far off of the racing line as he was. There's the mess that happened with there's a lot of sevens in that. 777 hits the 777.
What are the odds of that? Back under caution here. You see the 28 on pit road.
It's the 83 of Jason Crumley right there as well. Michael Matta retains the race lead. As a matter of fact, the 3 drivers who did not come into pit did not lose a position. Robinson and Johnson flipped, but the 3 that did not pit are still in the top 3.
Huh. See the 16 crossing the start-finish line with 7 laps to go. Looks like we're going to start with 5 to go.
Yeah, exactly what I was about to say. So the expectation would be 5 to go at the start, which is not bad for these guys up at the front, meaning they do not have to try to save those tires as much. Again, here is the last pit stop lap for the drivers in the top 10. Michael Matta on lap 54, Steven Johnson on 59, Michael Robinson on 65. Everybody else came in on 87.
As you see, the 16 is going to start first. Right behind him is going to be the 44 of Johnson. Behind him is going to be the 87 of Miguel Robinson. Right behind him is going to be the 47 of Kevin West. Haven't talked about the 47 a lot in this race. And then right behind him, rounding out the top 5, is Maxwell Caldwell. That is your top 5. Who's your driver to win tonight? I mean, it could be somebody outside the top 5.
It could be anybody at this point. Anyone has a chance.
I know.
Right now, we've seen accidents all over the place. By the way, Zach Roethlisberger has gotten his fast repair from the incident that brought out the 10th caution. He is up into 18th. So he has time to try to recover. Trevor Dalton, we've seen him in a couple of accidents, including that one earlier on. He is in 11th. There are a lot of fast cars spread out all over this field, and right now it is on Michael Matta to try to keep them all behind him to take away a race win. Leave 3 race winners in 3 races thus far this season.
Oh boy. Hold on tight, because this is probably going to be a wild one.
It was getting wild with 16 to go. I don't know. I think 6 to go is going to be just as wild. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again here at Kansas.
Inside lane gets a great restart there. He sees a 16 of Mad jump into that outside lane. But look at the 87 of Robinson right there on his quarter panel. Probably going to side draft here, going down the back straightaway.
Again, of the 3 drivers that did not hit, the 16, 44, and 87. The 87 has the freshest tires, having come in on lap 65. He's the one currently leading right now. As look at Maxwell Caldwell, that inside line open for him.
He's in the wall.
Yep, Robinson hitting the wall, coming out of 4. He's staying on the wall. Caution is going to come out.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's Isaac Love who may have been the cause of this one.
I have to take a replay here. Let's look at this replay really quick. Isaac Love.
World? How did he
Front
get
end
there?
damage. I see some nose damage.
Let's go back a little bit further here. Oh, he lost it on his own.
Overcorrected it.
Somebody else. I don't know if that was overcorrecting or if that was
just
overcorrecting out of frustration. There's somebody else also I saw down there at the bottom. I don't know who it was. Might have been Matthew McMeekin. As when we come out of a replay focused on a driver, as we were there with Isaac Love, and it goes to that camera view, that usually means that they are no longer part of the proceedings here this evening, and that is the case for Isaac Love. He will finish no better than 28th here tonight.
Wow.
That's the points leader.
Just not his night, I guess.
Josh Terrett-Hill, Joey Beck, Charles Teed, Derek Wegman, Johnny Wood, G.T. Hawkins, Raymond Kimmel, Ryan Farrell, Dalton Randolph, and Isaac Love, your official retirements. Michael Caffrey and Robert Henrata have both been on pit road for 8+ minutes. And Jeremy Flanagan in the number 72 right now, currently in 33rd, has the potential to get up as high as 31st, as we will see a green-white checkered finish here at Kansas.
Oh, yes.
Now, when last I left this series, it was one attempt at a green-white checkered, but Daniel, if you could take a look in the session and confirm that for me, that would be very much appreciated.
I can take a look for you, Matt.
I believe it is one green-white checkered attempt. That's all they had at Daytona.
This is the final. According to what I'm seeing right now, it looks like they do just only one green-white checkered finish.
So that has not changed.
No, it has not.
So this will be that one.
This is going to be the only one.
Steven Johnson, Maxwell Caldwell will be your front row. Caldwell has fresh tires on from lap 87. Steven Johnson has old tires on from lap 59. Row 2 is all old tires. Mako Robinson, who came in on lap 65. Michael Matta, who came in on lap 54. Row 3 will be Brandon Murray and Kevin West. Lilith Peters and Jesse Whittington, row 4. Justin Lewis and Trevor Dalton, row 5. And the leader, Steven Johnson, has chosen the outside lane for this restart.
I am so ready for this finish.
Setting himself up for the best defense, I guess, would be why he has chosen the outside.
I can't wait to see what this 87 does. I have a feeling he's going to try to force 3 wide here in turn 1. I have a feeling.
He has one win tonight already. That was the sprint race earlier on.
About to find out if he can get another one done tonight. Here, as you see the pace car making its way through turn 3 and 4.
Getting set to go one final time here at Kansas. Green flag coming out into the restart zone. The 44 is in control. Green flag is in the air. A good start, but not a great one for the 44.
44 on that outside lane there, as you see the 16 holding strong on the outside lane. Oh, 87. Falling back there.
A lot of moving and shaking going on right now, all behind Steven Johnson. Maxwell Caldwell with the fresh tires, trying to take that inside line, trying to take him to victory as we come out of turn 4. White flag in the air.
See the 94 of Caldwell right there on the bumper of Johnson. The 44 is going to go high.
Maxwell Caldwell trying to get the run of momentum coming out of turn 2 off the bumper of the 44 of Steven Johnson. Here goes Caldwell looking to the inside. It's going to be a side-by-side finish as we get out of turn number 4. Caldwell on the bottom. Johnson has the advantage. Coming to the line, it's going to be Maxwell Caldwell taking his first win of the year.
Wow. That was an incredible finish.
0.00 on the timing and scoring. Have to go to the 1,000th.
Oh my gosh.
What a finish.
It's a photo finish at the line.
Quite literally. So let's
I
take
think
a
that's the
look
best
here.
I've ever seen at Kansas, to be honest with you.
Let's take a look back. Coming through 3 and 4. This is coming out of 2 here.
You're going to see him come down the back straightaway. He's going to do that slingshot move. He's going to go right to the inside at 44, side draft him in turn 3 and 4. He's going to want to hug that white line all the way down to the grass, and that's exactly what he did to get this one here tonight.
See how close.
Wow.
Only about the front fender, front splitter.
Probably by an inch.
What a finish as Maxwell Caldwell takes his first win of this season. We'll get these guys in here in just a moment. Trying to find them here. It's a lot more expansive a Discord now than it was previously. Having to really flip through and try to find these guys. Michael Matta coming home in 3rd. That one-stop strategy worked quite nicely for him. And the only person I'm seeing right now, unless they have already moved up. Okay. So let's go now to our race winner, Maxwell Caldwell. Max, not the greatest of starts to the season, but boy, did you make up for it here tonight. What a win.
Dude, that's all I can say, Frank. That was crazy at the end, wasn't it?
It absolutely was. Now, how difficult was it to get around those cars on older tires? Was it just that they were able to keep the pace with you guys because of all the cautions? Or was it because that inside line just hasn't been working as well as it has in recent updates?
Well, we took tires with about, what was it, maybe 13 to go, yeah. And these tires take about 2 or 3 laps to really get the heat in them. And those cautions were not helping get heat in them. But once we made it to the white, the fresh tires, I was able to get some giddy up off too there. I was able to get a big run. And instead of trying to go for that outside like I knew he would, I tried to fake him up where I could come bottom. Because I don't know, I was mid-pack to like 7th, 5th most of the night. I didn't race till the last restart, really. I was letting everybody burn their stuff up. The bottom saved tires so much. The top would just eat them after like 10, 12 laps. So I was just riding, and I can't believe that the bottom is how I actually got that there at the end. But, no, it was just a tire advantage at the end there. But good, clean racing. We could have doored, we could have touched, and we might have a little, but it was nothing outside of hard racing. No one stuffed in the wall, no one hooking nobody on the front stretch. Like, it was just solid and clean. And let me tell you, that was fun. For qualifying 14th and thinking I screwed that up to come back for that after the awful start of the season we've had, I'll take that definitely.
Absolutely, and a big jump in the points coming in 26th tonight. You're going to certainly see a nice big jump out of that. Next week, we go to Twin Ring Motegi. It's a track that suited you very, very nicely in years past. What are your thoughts going into Motegi next season? Next week, sorry.
You want my honest opinion? I kind of wished we'd swap that one out. I run well there, but I really don't like it. And a lot of drivers really, it just the shifting, trying to go down into those corners and knowing there's not really an iRacing set made for that and we have to make a special one just makes it touchy. Like, it gets crazy. It's so easy to overshoot turn 3. But it may look great on the broadcast. I went back and watched it look like 3 and 4 wide going off in them corners. But turn 1, single groove. It really is. I mean, if you get on that outside, you're done for. You may be able to get under somebody and try to hold them if you both fight for the bottom. But I don't know. It's an okay track. I wish we could have. We made a few changes to the schedule this season. I wished that one would have swapped out with something. But at the end of the day, it's not a bad track for us. The team's good there. Just need to keep this momentum going because, man, it's been a sucky start to the season. So,
anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh, man, absolutely. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without him, I wouldn't get to be here, wouldn't get to hang out with you guys in the booth when we do interviews, get to meet all these amazing people of SCL. It's a good core group of people. It really is. I can get flustered some weeks and want to get mad, but at the end of the day, I come back next week because there's guys like Steven and Matta that we can all, right before you pulled me in, we were like laughing and saying, that was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just good camaraderie, right? And Jesus Christ allowed me to meet these guys and be able to just be around them and just have a great time. So thankful for him for giving me this opportunity. Got to thank my sponsors. Up Power Washing, Under Pressure Power Washing Services. Chris Vanderplatz, he ain't run any this season. Buddy, if you're watching, that's for you. We miss you, buddy. Come race with us again. And then Todd Merkel, I guess, had connection issues tonight. He didn't get to run, but thankful for his continued sponsorship of Merkel Racing engines on the car. So always try to get a win each season, and last season I didn't think I'd get it. It was dismal there too, but, man, got a solid result here early, and that gives us great momentum after 2 bad weeks. But got to thank my teammates too. I mean, teammates are there. Justin and Trevor were who I had tonight, and man, we worked together, and one point we were all 3 in the top 6. Justin did not have the finish he wanted. Just getting blocked and people just cutting people off, just kind of some hard racing there at the end. But good running with them. Learn a lot from Justin. Me and him, I think, help make each other better. And then thankful for the league for putting this on. I mean, it's fun. We had a big field tonight, didn't we? I was a shocker for Kansas. I didn't expect a full field, but that was awesome. And then thankful for you guys on the broadcast. I know y'all had a little bit of hiccups there at the beginning, but, man, y'all do such a great job and try your absolute hardest. And y'all call one heck of a race. And I bet y'all had fun calling that drag race to the line, didn't you?
Absolutely, we did. Max, from 26th to 13th in points after the win tonight. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good one.
So that will now bring up our second place finisher. That will be Steven Johnson. Steven, can you hear us? I see you're muted in the Discord here.
Yes.
There we go.
Can hear you.
All right. Just short here tonight
I'm gonna
from
have
your
to look
first
the replay,
win.
man.
It was one heck of a finish. You held that outside line beautifully. Was it that outside line that was able to help you with those older tires, or was it just the fact that you hadn't been running so many green flag laps you were able to save them a little bit?
I think it's a combination of both, honestly. I thought that the outside line was a little bit stronger, just throughout the whole race. It seemed to come in once the tires got old. I thought that I had a little bit more there in the tank, but it just didn't work out. Those fresh tires.
Yeah, no, they certainly were, unfortunately, your undoing here tonight. How crazy was it out there? Because, Daniel, if you wouldn't mind, we'll just do that for right now. I've completely lost my train of thought. How crazy was it with a full field that you guys had here tonight? Just getting through the field, you had to do it a couple of times after getting involved in wrecks. What was it like running through this field tonight?
Yeah, it was really interesting, honestly. I'm glad and thankful that we had a full field tonight. It was really fun. It sucked though once you get put behind the eight ball. Uh, and I kind of did it to myself in the beginning, not clearing myself properly, and then just kind of bad pit strategy, and had to fight my way back up. Got lucky with a couple accidents that I avoided. So yeah, it was a wild experience. There were people all over the place, and we had so many grooves going on at the same time. Everybody had different entries into the corners and different ways to get around. So it was cool to kind of navigate through all that and make it happen.
We go to Twin Ring Motegi, the oval side, next week. What are your thoughts going into Motegi?
Um, Traditionally, I usually run pretty well at Motegi. Way back in the league, I think I won a race a long time ago. Um, so hopefully that translates over. Like I said, traditionally I usually run pretty good there. I like how the track, after the tires get old, I like how the track runs. So that'll be my goal next week, just to try to run clean and see if I can bring it home Type 3 again. Hopefully I can bring home a win.
Absolutely. You came very close tonight, down to the thousandth of a second here tonight. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Um, just want to thank the SCL. Thank you guys in the broadcast booth for always broadcasting a very professional race. Uh, Thankful to any of my friends and family who check out the video, and thankful to anybody who checked out the live stream here. And yeah, I'm just glad to be a part of it. I've been a part of SCL for a long time, so it's always great to get a good finish.
All right, your second place finisher tonight, Steven Johnson. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
And now we will move to our third place finisher and brand new points leader as it sits, Michael Matta. Michael, a very solid run. How in the world did you make that one-stop strategy work?
Well, I saw in practice that tires really weren't meaning too much. You just had to save them. So I fell back a little bit early, and then I just saved tires a lot.
You certainly did, and you saved it up to a top 3 finish. Now, I've asked the other two the same question here. So the tires were not really that much of an issue here tonight. That's why you were able to run up with those guys, even on 50-lap old tires?
I think it was how cold the track was. Right now it's saying it's 68 degrees, so it was more like keeping the tires cool than wear. So if you keep them cool, you could kind of run with the other guys as long as you weren't pushing too hard.
Next week, we go to Twin Ring Motegi. What are your thoughts going into Motegi?
I'm always not looking forward to it. Then I run okay, so kind of hoping for a top 10. Nothing huge, but I was coming in here hoping for a top 15, to be honest. So I'm third. Anything can happen in these races.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
I got to shout out Case Beer. Didn't make the race. Helped me out with strategy and spotting me for the race. So I had to call him out.
You also got your cheering section in the YouTube comments as well, as you always do. Your new points leader for the SCL Winston Cup Series after week 3. Yes, sir. Michael Matta, congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Well, Daniel, I almost moved you down. One heck of a race. My first full-time race back after the baseball season, so I will be here every single week now instead of just every now and again with 3 months in between. Got treated to one heck of a finish here tonight, and Daniel, thank you at the last minute for jumping in and covering with me, and just we both got treated to one hell of a show tonight.
We both did, and I really enjoyed it. This is my first time doing it with you, Frank, and I know it's been a while since you have been broadcasting. And I think we got treated to an excellent race tonight, and I can't wait to see what this series does moving forward and seeing how these drivers progress throughout the season. Don't forget, it's still the beginning of the season. Next week we go to, what was it,
Twin
Ring
Motegi.
Motegi, I believe.
Yep.
So I am looking forward to that race. I haven't seen the next gen car on that track before, so that's gonna be interesting. I know the drivers aren't looking forward to it, but us as broadcasters are sure looking for an excellent race next week there.
Yep, and they usually do put on one heck of a show. That finish, by the way, between Maxwell Caldwell and Steven Johnson, 4/1000ths of a second, the difference between those two crossing the line here tonight. So now we will go to the finishing results here for tonight's race. Maxwell Caldwell takes his first win of the season. Steven Johnson, Michael Matta, your top three finishers. Jesse Whittington with a very, very strong run after knocking himself out of the top of the field on the very first lap. Finally got back in, got a top five finish out of it. Kevin West, who crashed, gained 20 positions, gets a top 5 after finishing second in the sprint race here tonight. Trevor Dalton, Lilith Peters, Mike Peters, Chad Jones, and Matt Metler round out the top 10. Justin Lewis, Mark Brown, Adam Lowe, Zach Roethlisberger, and Eric Schaus round out the top 15. Brandon Murray, Barrett Flo, Ronnie Hurst, Craig Forsyth, and Matthew McMeekin, who holds on to second place in points, coming home in 20th position. Jason Crumley, Michael Robinson, Johnny LaFavors, Blake Madu, and David Hanna, your top 25. Joshua Yarborough, Brendan Cornoyer, Isaac Love, Michael Caffrey, and Robert Henrata, your top 30. Jeremy Flanagan, Ryan Farrell, Dalton Randolph, Raymond Kimmel, and Johnny Wood, 35th. GT Hawkins, Derek Wegman, Joey Beck, Charles Teed, and Josh Tarrant Hill rounding out your field of 40 drivers here tonight. Really quick, back to the sprint race results earlier on. Michael Robinson winning the sprint race, his first sprint win of the year. Kevin West, Jonathan Casebeer, Eric Peterson, the 4 drivers who competed in that sprint race. Casebeer and Peterson did not make the main show. Riley Hoots, Todd Merkel, and Wally Limlaw not starting nor qualifying here for the race tonight. So that will do it for us here tonight. For my broadcast partner, Daniel Paulus, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Have a great night, everybody. And remember, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.